The Trinidad. A team of maritime historians and shipwreck hunters has made a remarkable discovery in the depths of Lake Michigan. They've located the wreck of the Trinidad, a 140-foot-long schooner that sank in 1881 while carrying a load of coal. The ship is in an amazing state of preservation, with its deckhouse, anchors, wheel, bell, and even the crew's possessions still mostly intact. The Trinidad was built in 1867 in Grand Island, New York for the Great Lakes grain trade. It would transport coal from New York to ports in Milwaukee and Chicago and return with grain from the Midwest. However, the ship was poorly maintained by its owners and suffered from decay and leaks. In 1880, it hit a reef in Lake Superior and lost part of its bottom, which was hastily repaired. On its final voyage in May 1881, the Trinidad was bound for Milwaukee with a cargo of coal. It developed a leak and began to fill with water, but the captain and the crew decided to continue on. Suddenly, the ship lurched and sank rapidly, leaving no time for the crew to save anything. The only casualty was the ship's mascot, a Newfoundland dog who was asleep next to the stove. The wreck of the Trinidad was lost for over a century, until two shipwreck enthusiasts, Brendan Baylod and Bob Jake, decided to search for it. They used historical documents and sonar technology to narrow down the possible location of the ship and finally found it in July 2023. It was about 10 miles off the shore of Algoma, Wisconsin, at a depth of 270 feet. The discovery of the Trinidad is a significant contribution to the maritime history and archaeology of Wisconsin and the Great Lakes. The ship is one of the few examples of a canaler or canal schooner, a type of vessel specially designed to pass through the Welland Canal that connected Lake Erie and Ontario. The ship also offers a rare opportunity to study the rigging, construction, and cargo of a 19th century schooner, as well as life and the culture of its crew. The Wisconsin Historical Society has praised the find as one of the most intact shipwrecks ever found in Wisconsin waters, and a very significant shipwreck. The Society plans to document and protect the site and hopes to share the story of the Trinidad with the public through exhibits and publications. The USS Johnston. The USS Johnston was a U.S. Navy Fletcher-class destroyer that fought bravely in the Battle of Leyte Gulf in 1944, the largest naval battle in history. The ship was part of a small force that faced a much larger and more powerful Japanese fleet and sacrificed itself to protect the American aircraft carriers and landing craft. The ship was hit by shells and torpedoes from the Japanese warships and sank with 186 of its 327 crew members, including its commander, Lieutenant Commander Ernest E. Evans, who was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. The wreck of the USS Johnston was lost for more than 7 decades. It was only recently discovered in 2019 by a team led by Victor Vescovo, a retired U.S. Navy officer and explorer. The ship lies at a depth of 21,180 feet, making it the deepest shipwreck ever surveyed. The team used a specially designed submersible, the limiting factor, to dive to the wreck site and film it with high-definition cameras. They returned to the site in 2021 and completed a full mapping and filming of the entire wreck, which was remarkably well preserved despite the immense water pressure and corrosion. The team captured stunning images and footage of the ship's hull, guns, torpedo tubes, propellers, and other features, as well as personal items belonging to the crew, such as helmets, boots, and jackets. The team also paid tribute to the fallen sailors by laying a wreath on the wreck and performing a ceremony of remembrance. The team shared their findings with the U.S. Navy and the relatives of the USS Johnston crew and plans to release a documentary about their expedition. The discovery of the USS Johnston is a remarkable achievement of exploration and technology, as well as a tribute to the courage and sacrifice of the U.S. Navy sailors who fought in the Battle of Leyte Gulf. The wreck is a valuable source of historical and archaeological information, as well as a war grave that deserves respect and protection. If you had the chance to explore a sunken ship, would you do it? Let us know in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. The SS Cotopaxi. The SS Cotopaxi was a steamship that sailed from Charleston, South Carolina to Havana, Cuba, with a cargo of coal and a crew of 32. On November 29, 1925, the ship encountered a tropical storm near the Bermuda Triangle, a region notorious for mysterious disappearances of ships and planes. The ship sent a distress signal on December 1, 1925. reporting that it was taking on water and listing badly. After that, the ship and its crew vanished without a trace. The fate of the SS Cotopaxi remained a mystery for almost a century, fueling speculation and legends about the Bermuda Triangle. Some claim that the ship was abducted by aliens, swallowed by a giant sea monster, or transported to another dimension. The ship even appeared in the 1977 movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where it was shown in the Gobi Desert, supposedly placed there by extraterrestrials. However, in 2020, a team of shipwreck hunters and researchers announced that they had finally identified the wreck of the SS Cotopaxi, lying 35 nautical miles off the coast of St. Augustine, Florida, at a depth of 270 feet. The team used historical records, sonar scans, and underwater cameras to confirm the identity of the ship, which was previously known as the Bear Wreck by local divers and fishermen. They found that the ship was in a remarkable state of preservation, with its hull, deck house, anchors, wheel, bell, and even some personal items of the crew still visible. The team also discovered that the ship had not fallen prey to any paranormal phenomenon, but rather to a combination of poor maintenance, bad weather, and human error. The ship had a history of leaks and damage that had been hastily repaired before its final voyage. The ship's wooden hatch covers, which were supposed to keep the water out of the cargo hold, were rotten and ineffective. The ship's captain and crew had also ignored the warnings of the storm and continued sailing until it was too late to save the ship. The discovery of the SS Cotopaxi solved one of the longest-standing mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle and shed light on the history and culture of the 1920s. The team also paid respect to the fallen sailors by laying a wreath on the wreck and performing a ceremony of remembrance. The team shared their findings with the public through a documentary series on the Science Channel called Shipwreck Secrets. HMS Terror. The HMS Terror was a British warship that was converted into a polar exploration vessel in the 19th century. It participated in several expeditions to the Arctic and Antarctic regions, but met its tragic end during Sir John Franklin's attempt to find the Northwest Passage in 1845. The ship was originally built as a bomb vessel in 1813 and saw action in the War of 1812 against the United States. It was involved in a bombardment of Fort McHenry, which inspired the American national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. It also fought in the battles of Stonington, Fort Peter, and St. Mary's. In 1828, the ship was recommissioned for service in the Mediterranean Sea, where it was used for surveying and mapping. In 1836, it was refitted for Arctic exploration and joined Captain George Back's expedition to the Great Slave Lake and the Great Fish River. The ship endured harsh conditions as it was trapped in the ice for 10 months, but managed to return to England in 1837. In 1839, HMS Terror was assigned to Captain James Clark Ross's Antarctic expedition, along with the HMS Erebus. The two ships sailed through the Weddell Sea and discovered the Ross Sea, the Ross Ice Shelf, and the volcanoes Mount Erebus and Mount Terror, named after the ships. They also reached the highest southern latitude at the time, 78 degrees 10 minutes south. In 1845, the HMS Terror and the HMS Erebus were chosen for Sir John Franklin's expedition to find the Northwest Passage, a sea route connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through the Arctic archipelago. The ships were reinforced with iron plating, equipped with steam engines and propellers, and stocked with provisions and books. They also carried a library of more than 1,000 books, a hand organ, and daguerreau-type equipment. The expedition left England in May 1845 with 129 men on board. They were last seen by a whaling ship in Baffin Bay in July 1845. After that, they vanished into the unknown. Several search parties were sent to look for them, but none succeeded. The fate of the expedition remained a mystery for decades, until evidence of their ordeal was found by Inuit hunters and explorers. It was later revealed that the ships had become stuck in ice near King William Island in September of 1846 and remained there for 2 years. Franklin died in June of 1847, and the remaining crew members abandoned the ships in April of 1848, hoping to reach the mainland on foot. However, they all perished along the way, succumbing to starvation, exposure, scurvy, and cannibalism. The wrecks of the HMS Terror and HMS Erebus were not found until the 21st century, after years of searching and research. HMS Erebus was discovered in 2014 in shallow water off the coast of King William Island. HMS Terror was found in 2016 in a bay south of the island. in remarkably well-preserved condition. The discovery of the ships shed new light on the history of polar exploration and sparked renewed interest in the story of Franklin and his men. The Endurance. The Endurance was a wooden sailing ship that carried Sir Ernest Shackleton and his crew on their ill-fated expedition to Antarctica in 1914. The ship became trapped in the pack ice of the Weddell Sea and was eventually crushed and sunk in 1915, leaving the men stranded on the ice for months. Shackleton and his men managed to survive and reach safety in one of the most remarkable feats of endurance and leadership in history. For over a century, the location of the Endurance's wreck was unknown and elusive. Many attempts to find it failed due to the harsh and unpredictable conditions of the Antarctic waters. However, in March 2022, a team of explorers and scientists announced that they had finally located and filmed the remains of the Endurance at a depth of about 10,000 feet in the Weddell Sea. The team, called Endurance 22, used a specially designed underwater drone to scan the seabed and detect the ship's signature. They then deployed cameras to capture the first images of the wreck, which showed the ship's stern, bow, and nameplate in remarkable condition. The team also documented the debris field around the wreck, which included items such as crates, barrels, and tools. The discovery of the Endurance was hailed as a major achievement and a tribute to Shackleton and his men. The wreck is now a protected historic site and monument under the Antarctic Treaty System, and no physical artifacts were removed or disturbed. The team plans to share their findings and footage with the public and the scientific community, and to continue their research on the Antarctic environment and history. The Endurance is not only a shipwreck but also a symbol of human courage, resilience, and exploration. Its discovery is a testament to the enduring fascination with and the importance of the Antarctic continent and its secrets. The Maritime Silk Road. Shipwrecks are valuable sources of historical and archaeological information as they reveal the maritime trade and cultural exchange that took place between different regions and civilizations. One of the most remarkable discoveries of shipwrecks in recent years was made near the coast of Shandong Province, China in 2011. A team of Chinese archaeologists found a cluster of 30 shipwrecks dating from the Song Dynasty to the Qing Dynasty, containing a large amount of porcelain, pottery, coins, and other artifacts. The shipwrecks were located in a shallow sea area that was part of the ancient Maritime Silk Road, a network of trade routes that connected China with Southeast Asia, India, the Middle East, and Europe. The shipwrecks reflect the diversity and richness of the goods that were transported along this route, as well as the technological and artistic achievements of the Chinese and other cultures that participated in the trade. For example, some of the porcelain items found on the shipwrecks were decorated with blue and white patterns, a distinctive style that originated in China and became popular worldwide. Some of the coins found in the shipwrecks were minted in foreign countries, such as Persia and the Ottoman Empire, indicating the economic and political relations that China had with these regions. The shipwrecks also provide clues about the causes and consequences of maritime trade, such as the natural and human factors that led to the sinking of the ships and the impact of the trade on the environment and society. Some of the shipwrecks may have been caused by storms, typhoons, or reefs, while others may have been the result of wars, piracy, or accidents. The shipwrecks also show the ecological and cultural changes that occurred due to the trade, such as the introduction of new species, crops, diseases, religions, and customs. The shipwrecks found near the China coast in 2011 are among the most important and fascinating shipwrecks ever found in the world, as they offer a glimpse into the history and culture of China and other regions that were connected by the Maritime Silk Road. They are also a testament to the human spirit of exploration, innovation, and exchange that shaped the world we live in today. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about the Endurance, the Trinidad, and the other sunken vessels that reveal the secrets of the past. Give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating content. Share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, bye for now.